She didn't ease into it. She didn't sugarcoat it. Taylor Swift looked straight at the noise, the criticism, the people telling her to go away, and fired back with a calm but unmistakably sharp message. And the reason this moment hit so hard is simple. Taylor almost never responds like this. She usually lets the music speak for her, but not this time. Not when the pressure was building, not when the spotlight grew hotter, and definitely not when someone very close to her had been quietly cheering her on behind the scenes. It didn't come out of nowhere. For weeks, a loud corner of the internet had been pushing this narrative that Taylor Swift was suddenly everywhere, using words like overexposed, too visible, and doing too much. It started as small chatter, the kind of background noise big celebrities usually ignore, but it kept growing. Every time she stepped out for her record-breaking tour, every time she appeared on an NFL broadcast to support Travis Kelce, every time a Grammy prediction list put her at #1, that chorus of negativity got a little louder. People who weren't even fans were suddenly analyzing her screen time like it was some national emergency. And the thing is, Taylor has lived through the cycle before. She's been picked apart for almost 2 decades, but she usually refuses to feed the drama. She stays quiet, keeps working, lets success speak on its own. So when the noise started building again, accusations of being too visible, claims that she was invading football, and random commentators saying she should take a break from fame, most fans expected her to shrug it off like she always does. But this time felt different. The backlash wasn't just about music or fame. It started turning personal, attacking her relationship, her appearances at games, even her interviews. Then came the moment everything snapped into focus. During a recent interaction with fans, Taylor directly addressed the criticism and shut it down instantly. No anger, no rant, just a steady, confident reminder that she's not backing away from the spotlight simply because a handful of voices online decided they were tired of seeing her. And right in the middle of that message, she did something that sent the internet into a full spiral. She thanked Travis Kelce for being her support system through the chaos. Just a few words, but enough to confirm what fans had suspected. Behind the scenes, he's been the person grounding her, encouraging her, helping her block out the negativity. That line connected everything. The tour, the NFL attention, the online hate, the sudden clapback. It all made sense in one moment. She wasn't responding because she was upset. She responded because she finally felt supported enough to say something out loud. And that tiny shift, that decision to address the noise head-on, is exactly why the clip exploded across social media. Fans called it empowering, critics called it dramatic, but everyone agreed on one thing. This was a rare moment where Taylor Swift broke her own rule and spoke directly to the backlash instead of letting the music or media do it for her. And once she did, the entire conversation flipped instantly, and the storm only got louder from there. The turning point came in a single off-the-cuff moment, the kind Taylor probably didn't even plan. She was greeting fans when someone mentioned the nonstop hate circulating online, and without hesitating, she delivered the line that would take over the internet. "I'm not going anywhere." No dramatic pause, no build-up, just a simple, steady declaration that cut through every rumor, complaint, and criticism that had been thrown her way. Within minutes, someone clipped the moment and posted it to X, and that's when everything detonated. The video blew past 1 million views before most people even realized it was trending. Then it jumped to 5 million, then 10, spreading across platforms like wildfire. TikTok creators grabbed the audio and turned it into edits, reaction videos, and many explainers breaking down why this moment felt so different from Taylor's usual calm distance from drama. Swifties started using the phrase as a rallying cry, dropping it under every negative comment and turning it into a kind of digital shield. Even people who weren't fans couldn't escape it. Their timelines were suddenly filled with the clip, stitched with commentary from influencers, sports personalities, and even pop culture analysts. Some praised her confidence, others called it a warning shot, and a few tried to downplay it, claiming she was feeding the drama, which only made the clip spread faster, because now everyone wanted to see it for themselves. By the end of the day, it wasn't just a viral moment, it was a cultural flashpoint. Every major entertainment account had picked it up, every reaction page was reposting it, and every Swift-focused TikTok corner was dissecting the tone, the timing, the body language, everything. That one sentence flipped the entire conversation, turning her from someone being told to disappear into someone publicly planting her flag and refusing to be pushed out. And the best part? Fans made it clear they loved this version of her. Direct, confident, and completely unbothered. The internet had lit the match, but Taylor's 8-word response was the spark that set the whole thing on fire. What most people didn't realize is that this moment wasn't random at all. Taylor has a long history of staying quiet when the backlash hits. For years, she let the storms pass without ever directly engaging, even when the criticism got brutal. From old feuds to award show controversies to the constant "she's everywhere" narrative, she usually chose silence as her shield. Fans know this pattern well. When things get messy, Taylor retreats, writes, and lets time or a song do the talking. So when the noise started building again, accusations of being too visible, claims that she was invading football, and random commentators saying she should take a break from fame, most fans expected her to shrug it off like she always does. But this time felt different. The backlash wasn't just about music or fame. It started turning personal, attacking her relationship, her appearances at games, even her interviews, her outfits, even the camera cutting to her during broadcasts. It wasn't playful teasing anymore. It felt like coordinated harassment. Swifties saw it, reporters hinted at it, and some insiders claimed she was exhausted from constantly being turned into a distraction anytime she showed up to support someone she cared about. Add to that the pressure she's been under during the tour. Reports claim she's been juggling nonstop travel, brutal rehearsals, business negotiations, album deadlines, and the weight of delivering one of the most intense tours of her career. When you combine all of that with the online noise, the hate campaigns, and the never-ending commentary on her personal life, it becomes pretty clear why this moment felt different. She wasn't just responding to a random insult. She was responding to months of pressure building up backstage. And it's not like she hasn't hinted at this before. In past interviews, Taylor has opened up about burnout, anxiety, and the overwhelming toll of online negativity. She's talked about feeling picked apart, about being dragged for things male celebrities get praised for, and about the emotional drain of living under a microscope. Those statements, which people shrugged off at the time, hit a lot harder now. So when she said, "I'm not going anywhere," it wasn't a dramatic comeback line. It was a boundary, a message that she's done shrinking herself to make strangers feel comfortable, a reminder that even someone who's mastered silence can only take so much before choosing to speak. And when she finally did, the internet realized there was a lot more behind that one sentence than anyone initially thought. What really sent the moment into another universe was the part nobody expected, Taylor openly thanking Travis Kelce. She didn't overdo it.
Didn't turn it into a speech, didn't make it some romantic declaration. It was quick, subtle, almost casual, but it changed everything. Because Taylor rarely pulls back the curtain on her relationships, she protects them fiercely. So for her to acknowledge him publicly, right as she was addressing the backlash, felt intentional. Fans instantly picked up on it, calling it a soft launch of a stronger phase, like she was letting people know that Travis wasn't just a headline, he was part of the reason she felt grounded enough to speak up at all. And the timing mattered. Ever since she started showing up at Chiefs games, her world collided with the NFL in a way nobody saw coming. Some football fans embraced her, loved the crossover, and joked that she was responsible for half the season's ratings. But others turned hostile fast, accusing her of being a distraction, a PR plant, or the most ridiculous claim of all, that she was somehow ruining football, as if her existence during a broadcast was more disruptive than the endless commercials or mid-game commentator rants. That part hasn't been easy for her. Reports claim she's privately vented about the scrutiny, especially the way every camera pan becomes a Twitter war. She's tired of being blamed for things she has zero control over. And even though she never said Travis's name while addressing that criticism, the shout-out made it clear. He's been the one reminding her not to take the negativity personally, not to dim herself just because a few loud voices can't handle her success and her happiness happening at the same time. Fans saw that. They understood the message under the message. Her thank you wasn't just affection. It was a sign that she finally felt supported enough to stop swallowing her frustration. And the moment that connection clicked for the internet, the clip became more than a viral quote. It became a symbol of a couple weathering public chaos together, refusing to let outside noise dictate how they show up for each other. And maybe that's why people reacted so strongly. It wasn't just Taylor standing her ground. It was Taylor standing her ground with someone behind her who actually gets it. The reaction hit instantly, like the internet had just been waiting for a spark. Within minutes of the click dropping, Swifties mobilized with the kind of force only they can generate. Hashtags exploded across accent TikTok. Hashtag we love you Taylor. Hashtag she is not going anywhere. Hashtag stay mad Swifties, flooding timelines so fast that even people trying to avoid the conversation ended up drowning in it. They posted edits, breakdowns, defense threads, and long messages about why Taylor deserved to stand her ground. It felt less like a fan base reacting and more like a digital army forming around her. But the pushback didn't disappear. It doubled down. The same critics calling her overexposed suddenly claimed she was being dramatic, feeding the attention, or proving the point. A few bitter accounts kept repeating that she was doing too much, completely ignoring the fact that they were the ones who'd been obsessively posting about her for weeks. The irony wasn't lost on anyone, and Swifties made sure they pointed it out every chance they got. Celebrities and influencers couldn't stay silent either. Some posted messages supporting her confidence and calling out the unnecessary hate. Others tried to stay neutral but ended up adding fuel to the fire simply by acknowledging the situation. One or two even made sly comments about the football crowd needing to calm down, which only made the NFL side of the internet flare up again. Reaction channels, gossip accounts, and pop culture commentators started editing the clip into their own videos, turning the moment into a game of interpretation. What did she really mean? Why now? What triggered her to finally respond? And then the media got a hold of it. Once TMZ, People, and every entertainment page on TikTok highlighted the moment, the situation went from fan drama to full-blown headline status. Articles framed it as Taylor Swift's clapback heard around the world. Podcasts reacted to it in real time, and sports commentators even weighed in on her being fed up with NFL negativity. Suddenly, the line, "I'm not going anywhere," wasn't just a quote. It became a pop culture event, a timestamp, a moment people used to measure how fast the internet can explode when Taylor Swift so much as raises an eyebrow. By the end of the day, it didn't matter whether someone was a fan, a critic, or just a casual observer. Everyone had an opinion, everyone had seen the clip, and everyone was pulled into the whirlwind. The internet didn't just go nuclear. It turned Taylor's 8-word response into the biggest conversation happening online, proving once again that she doesn't need a music video, an album drop, or a tour announcement to dominate a news cycle. One sentence was enough to shut down the noise and ignite an entirely new storm. The moment Taylor publicly fired back has opened the door to a whole new wave of theories, predictions, and fan-made narratives about what comes next. None of this is confirmed, but that hasn't stopped the internet from running wild. Swifties are convinced this clapback isn't just a one-off moment. It might be the beginning of an entirely new chapter in her career and storytelling. One of the biggest rumors circulating is the idea that Taylor could address this era of backlash and negativity in a future project. Fans are pointing out that she's always processed public pressure through music. From Reputation to Lover to Folklore, she has consistently transformed criticism into art. So after seeing her respond more directly than usual, the speculation is that she might be channeling the frustration, exhaustion, and emotional weight of the past year into an album or a series of songs. Nothing is confirmed, but Swifties are already analyzing past interviews and recent quotes to support the theory that something is brewing. There's also a strong conversation around her upcoming documentary footage. Fans believe there's a real chance the project may show more behind the scenes than people expect, possibly moments where she discusses online negativity, burnout, or the emotional cost of nonstop public attention. Even though no official statement confirms this, the timing of her public clapback has fueled the belief that she's ready to be more open and unfiltered than before. Some fan theories take it a step further, claiming this could be the start of a rebellious arc. According to Swiftie speculation, this era might show Taylor stepping into a bolder, more unapologetic version of herself, someone who's no longer afraid to push back when the criticism becomes relentless. Supporters say her recent comment already feels like a tone shift, almost like the opening line of a fierce, defiant creative phase. Of course, these ideas remain purely fan-driven, but Taylor's history of leaving clues, hints, and metaphor-heavy Easter eggs means people are reading deeply into even the smallest gestures. Whether she's actually building toward a major artistic statement or simply protecting her peace, the speculation alone shows how much cultural energy she still commands. One thing is certain, after this moment, the world will be watching her next moves even more closely, and Swifties are convinced the story is just beginning. In the end, Taylor's clapback wasn't just about shutting down a few critics, it was a declaration of resilience. For nearly 2 decades, she's been targeted, doubted, mocked, underestimated, and dragged through cycles of backlash. Yet every time the world expected her to break, she came back stronger. Her response wasn't angry, it was powerful. It reminded everyone that success this lasting doesn't happen by accident. It happens because she refuses to be pushed out, erased, or quieted. Taylor's longevity is unmatched. While critics recycle
Same overexposed narrative year after year, she continues to sell out stadiums, break streaming records, dominate award seasons, and shape pop culture in ways few artists ever could. She has survived career storms that would have ended most people, and she's done it with a mixture of grace, strategy, and steel. So when she finally said she's not going anywhere, it hit harder than any headline. It wasn't just a message to trolls, it was a reminder of her place in the industry and her refusal to shriek herself to make others comfortable. It was the voice of someone who has earned her seat and intends to keep it. This moment wasn't about drama, it was about endurance. And now the big question lingers, the one fans and critics are already debating. Is Taylor fed up, or is this just the beginning of her loudest era yet?